completely, the doors in front of me open.
Rise and shine.
Somebody call an ambulance. I think I've caught the case of deja vu.
Isn't this lovely?
It feels like only yesterday we were playing detective with the corpse of a crime scene. My, how insentient and chipper so many of you used to be.
How interesting.
After all that back and forth over a simple whodunit mystery, I'm truly curious what today's trial will yield.
Yeah.
Just to remind myself, our names are on the podiums, right? Eager to start, are we?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. To find your podium, just look for where your name is written.
The show must go on.
Come on now, hop on it. I'm so excited, I can barely wait a second longer. I really don't want to do this.
Oh, crud.
We gotta do this. Yeah, we gotta do what he says, though. Otherwise, that enforcer lady will get mad. Lady might get mad. Knowing we were powerless to disobey Tozu, we began to disperse and locate our podiums.
Hey.
It's okay, everyone. If we work together, we can do this.
We can't give up.
Right, guys? If we work together, we can solve this case. So come on, let's do this for Wolfgang. Although her words elicit nods from the other students, the expressions on their face told a different story. It was an expression I couldn't help but feel conflicted over. In a moment where I shouldn't have been focused on my feelings. An expression of unmistakable fear. Alright. For days now, I've been angry over the mock trial. Angry at how much people resented me for telling the truth and how they twisted my words and assumed my intentions. I'm angry, but that didn't mean I wanted to be right. I would have been happy for reality to prove me wrong, for no one to buckle under the pressure of the killing game. But good endings like that only exist in stories. Reality was apathetic to what we wanted, and the events of today proved we were at its mercy. So I stood there at my podium, conflicted. To think this tragedy could have been avoided had people just listened to me. But who it was that encouraged everyone to turn on me? Who was it that encouraged everyone to trust each other? If Wolfgang hadn't been so naive, if he just told people to protect themselves rather than each other, then maybe he would still be here. Regardless, I can't let myself be consumed by the what ifs. Although the others have failed at preventing Wolfgang's murder, I, at the very least, can solve it. I'll uncover this killer. Let them face the consequences of their actions. I'll solve this case and survive. Alright. Alright, that was a lot. Oh man, I can't wait to get to my thoughts of this game, because I have so much really good thoughts about this game. So in regards to the evidence that we conduced so far, part of me wants to say that it's a suicide, but there are some like conflicting stories that I'm like looking at. As you can see, like Toshiko is between Toshiko's story and Grace's story, as Grace mentioned that, you know, Wolfgang was sick and that he was basically staying in bed, but he was essentially planning to go to the tournament. And I'll say Toshiko's story confirmed that. So there was like two, while the conflicting story is that where he was at the time was conflicting, him going to the tournament was planned. Like, it's basically something that he was planning to do. Part of me want to think about Desmond as well. Um, Ingrid and Toshiko, their story is kind of like iffy as well because one, they saw us, and two, they didn't really say anything, or they just like was looking at us. And then for Diana, she basically just stated that she was just in her room with makeup, but she don't got no makeup on. So they're pretty like high suspects there. I couldn't think of anybody else being a suspect at the moment besides Diana, Toshiko, and Ingrid. But that's pretty much it. So let's get the show on the road now. Let me view all my trinkets. Our truth bullets, I should say. So when it comes to the blackout now, the blackout only happened in the one of the buildings, so it didn't happen anywhere else. Cool. The blood spots could also indicate that there was a bit of a struggle there, but we don't know if it's Wolfgang's blood or somebody else's blood. But no. Okay, we can rule out that there was no blood on Wolfgang because there, at least there would be some resemblance of blood on him. But it seemed like he died from like something more like internal, rather than like him like bleeding out or like having blood out of his mouth. The doorknob being switched over, I haven't really like ruled out anything other than the fact that Wolfgang could have been trapped inside. And this kind of also confirms that Wolfgang's hands kind of confirms the fact that it wasn't like stabbing or anything like that. He didn't die from like a blunt injury as much as like either suffocation, or which I'll say the extension cord can kind of like confirm that, as the extension cords are pretty long, but it seemed like the extension cords were burnt, so it's hard to say. With the DJ pad clock, we can kind of confirm that the blackout definitely while the blackout happened, Wolfgang died at the same time, like the same exact time. So possibly the explosion did catch him. Now the footsteps part, it makes you want to think about Toshiko, because Toshiko is very like is a little girl essentially, and her foots are very light. So that's something like this kind of confirms that people were there. The generator being blown, that proves that the generator blew up. Yeah, Grace's testimony is a little bit suspicious because you got Toshiko's fetch quest and then Grace's testimony like conflicting. The knife, I haven't really ruled out anything yet. The odd smell, this can also confirm that he did have some type of like drink or something with it, and it kind of affected like how. My guess he took something and it like really affected his body. Shrapnel. That's interesting. Yeah, the rolling pin as well. Oh, the taser gun. He mentioned that the piece that's on front, where before you like shoot the taser, was off. There's a piece of metal here. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this case. Let's just say that we're gonna figure it out. I really can't say. I really don't know. I'm gonna still keep it at kind for now because I just want to get through the story. I'm not really like, big on the logic side of things. So let's just relax. I don't want to play a little difficult game right now. If it was any other game, I'd be like, yeah, highest difficulty. We locking in, especially if it was a Call of Duty.
Let's get this started, shall we? Welcome back to the trial grounds, everyone. Unlike previously, today will be no circus. No mockery woven with stitches and needles.
Also, just to mention as well, my voice is like really tired from all the reading. Like I need to read a lot more because I'm reading like hours on end, and I'm not too used to that. But I mean, reading out loud. I read books, but not read out loud is what I'm trying to say. But yeah.
A true, fair, and proper trial will commence. A battle of wits between the blackened and the spotless. I doubt I have to explain the rules to you again. But even so, you must vote for who you believe is the blackened. If the blackened receives the majority of votes, only they will be punished, and the rest of you will resume your killing game experience. However, if you vote for the wrong person, then expect no sympathy from your hosts. All spotless students will meet a tragic end, while the blackened will be granted release from this academy. Happy discussing! We pray for your survival and success.
Can someone please break this silence?
I don't want to talk about this.
Wolfgang deserves justice, but putting everyone's lives on the line like this is just cruel.
Oh, crap. Without a lawyer, we're totally screwed.
Whenever I turn my head, I keep expecting to see him at his podium.
Oh, don't cry, Toshiko. He's in a better place now, you hear?
Whichever one of you sick bastards did this, whatever it takes, no matter if I have to kick the brains out of every single person here, I'll find you.
Do you really gotta resort to violence?
Let's just stay calm, okay? Making peace with our situation is, the first step in handling it.
How the hell can I stay calm when there's a killer on the loose? That bastard is watching us right now, fully content putting our lives on the line. Is that what you call peace? Being at the mercy of some dickhead silent observer?
Well, nobody knows for sure if the killer is even a silent observer. If anything, the killer might try to feign innocence through other means. For instance, pretending to be outspoken about the case.
What the? Are you accusing me of something?
I mean, what you did during the investigation seems really suspicious.
Also, I kind of feel weird about giving her a French accent, but I don't know. I was just like, let me just go with it.
What did Grace do?
She stood in front of Wolfgang's dorm room and wouldn't let anyone go inside. Intentionally or not, it really hindered our investigation.
Because of Grace, almost everyone who planned to investigate Wolfgang's dorm gave up and went elsewhere. It was only after some of us started protesting that she finally relented.
Yeah.
You know, for someone who seems so adamant about finding Wolfgang's killer, it's odd she tried to conceal potential evidence.
I'm not saying Grace is definitely the killer. I just think we should be cautious of her.
She has an alibi, though.
Huh?
Grace couldn't have murdered anyone, 'cause she went to the game tournament.
Grace attended the tournament?
Does that rule her out from committing the murder?
Pretty much.
Well, yeah. We had to be at the dining hall by 9 a.m.-ish, which was like half an hour before the murder. Nobody left the tournament after it started either. Nobody I know of, anyway.
There weren't many of us there. Had someone disappeared, it would have been obvious.
So, Grace is off the hook? Wow. That plot thread resolved itself quicker than I was anticipating.
So Jean, Grace, and Kai attended Cassidy and Jet's game tournament.
And me.
And me.
Mark.
Damon and I also attended the tournament. We can also vouch for Grace.
You guys aren't lying, are you?
Lying about Grace?
What the heck? Are you seriously doubting 8 testimonies?
If the 8 of you were really together when Wolfgang was discovered, then Kai, doesn't that contradict what you said before the investigation? You told everyone you and Damon found Wolfgang first. How is that possible if you guys never left the dining hall?
What happened here? Oh. Damon and me we just found him like this. I wish I would read it as well.
I never said I didn't leave the dining hall.
But earlier you told us you were with the other attendees.
That's because us partygoers left the dining hall together.
When the blackout struck, the tournament folk joined arms and headed straight downstairs.
That's 9 testimonies, yep.
I saw him.
There was a blackout?
You don't remember?
Actually, I don't recall a power outage either.
How could that be? Did an alternate timeline converge with ours?
Easy. Why was that some people recall a blackout and other? Thinking back on the testimonies I've collected, I'd probably make an educated guess. Yeah, the blackout affected only one building. Yep.
The reason not everyone experienced the blackout is because only the building containing our dorms was affected.
If
I had to guess, the courtyard and tree area are connected to separate power sources.
So the tournament attendees were affected, yet they left the dining hall? Why not stay put until the power returned?
Because we were the ones who brought it back. It didn't seem like the power was being restored anytime soon, so we took up the challenge of fixing it ourselves. And just our luck, boom! We found a spare generator lying in one of the storage closets.
All right, don't say boom. Not in this trial. Not in this trial, considering what happened.
Of course, then we found Wolfgang.
She's right. The 8 of us split into 4 pairs and inspected a storage room each.
Because of the toaster trinket map, we know which ones, too. Eva and Grace check storage closet A. Jet and I check storage closet B. Damon and Kai check storage closet C. And Jean and Mark check storage closet D.
Yeah, I was with Grace. She can confirm being with me, too. Yeah, we were together.
Oh, I didn't realize. I'm so sorry for what I said earlier.
Sorry? You're sorry for accusing me of murder. Sorry doesn't cut it, you conniving two-faced bitch! If you really want my mercy, then get on your knees and beg for it!
Okay, so I wasn't that bad of trying to do the Australian accent for her because I heard it, but at the same time I'm exaggerating it a little bit too much. But yeah.
Whoa, uncool, dude.
Hang on. Even if you aren't involved in Wolfgang's murder, you must know something about his last known whereabouts.
What makes you think she'd be privy to that?
You see, there's proof Grace spent last night with Wolfgang.
Grace and Lawyer Man? Talk about an unexpected pairing.
When I investigated Wolfgang's room, I saw a bunch of golfing equipment inside. Also, there was a blue woman's jacket tossed over the mantle of Wolfgang's bed.
Uh-oh.
He's right. I also saw the equipment and the clothes.
The clothes are understandable, maybe. But why was golfing equipment in the room?
Yo, little history dude. Wolfgang must have spilled the beans with you, right?
Why would Ulysses know anything?
Common courtesy. If you're gonna have a one-night stand, you gotta let your roomie know in advance.
Oh, not the one-night stand.
Common courtesy also says you should watch your mouth around children.
Yes, ma'am.
So if I'm getting this right, Ulysses is bunking with Wolfgang?
Well, we only shared a dorm for one night.
You aren't bunking with him anymore?
Let me provide some context. As you may remember, after Desmond suggested everyone bunk together, the male students were directed to the dining hall. Once there, we played rock, paper, scissors to determine who would partner with who. Jet partnered with Mark, Desmond with Jean, Damon with Kai, and I with Wolfgang.
Just another commentary. I feel like he's gonna be killed next. Like, he is way too useful. Like, I don't know, he's way too useful to not be killed, bruh.
Those were the pairings at the time. However, the following day, Grace and I agreed to swap rooms.
Yeah? Why'd you do that?
For reasons.
Okay, bring up those rings. Right.
It was a win-win situation. I get Grace out of my hair. She gets me out of hers.
You two were originally bunking together?
The pairings were decided via a game of tic-tac-toe. I wasn't big on my partner being chosen for me, so when the opportunity arose to change that, I took it.
Thus, I became Winona's roommate, and Grace became Wolfgang's.
Can confirm. I watched the whole thing play out.
Since the room swap happened the night after we implemented the bunk buddy system, that would mean Grace and Wolfgang have been bunking for about a day and a half. Ugh, gross.
In that case, Desmond was right about those two being together last night. Grace, did Wolfgang act strange at any point? Like, maybe he said something that stuck out to you, or... Oh, maybe he had trouble getting to sleep.
No. Nothing weird happened last night. Nothing happened last night, but...
But...
The morning of the murder, this morning, Wolfgang told me he felt sick.
Sick?
With a stomachache. It hurt so bad he couldn't get out of bed. I was gonna cancel my plans for today, but he convinced me to attend the tournament. So, I left his room right after the morning announcement. And yes, I'm talking about the game tournament. The same one Wolfgang acted all hesitant about attending. Newsflash, I changed his mind after breakfast yesterday.
Hold on a sec. That ain't what you told me this morning.
What did you tell her?
What did Grace tell you?
Simply put, she felt like competing. Grace knew I planned to compete as well, so she asked me to be her sparring partner, since you needed one to enter the tournament.
She withheld information.
Aye, that she did.
Grace?
Of course, since I now know Wolfgang's condition at the time, I can't say I blame her. If someone you cared for was in a vulnerable position, would you go around and admit that in a killing game? No. You would try to protect that person by saying nothing at all.
When you put it that way, man, sounds rough.
I think it's obtuse.
Huh?
Say we assume the best of Grace. She withheld information not to trick anyone, but to protect someone she cares about. What then should we make of the glaring contradiction in her testimony?
What the hell do you mean, contradiction?
If your bunking partner was too ill to make the short trek to the dining hall, how did he walk all the way to the boiler room?
Good point. If Wolfgang really were bedridden, he would have stayed in his room.
Now that you mention it, to reach the underground floor, wouldn't Wolfgang need to descend, like, 4 flights of stairs? It's nothing for a healthy person, but for a guy who's supposedly really sick...
It's not my fault it doesn't make sense. It's just what Wolfgang told me.
Yeah. Didn't we decide Grace wasn't the killer anyway?
That's not to say she doesn't know more than she's letting on.
I'm not withholding anything else. Leave me alone.
Is there more to the story than Grace is telling us? Too many people are letting their emotions cloud their judgment. I need to solve this mystery and set things happen. Non-stop debate. Here we go.
Why don't you tell everyone the truth, Grace?
I've got nothing else to explain. The last I saw Wolfgang, he was in our dorm room.
Okay, hear me out. Secret hallways.
No, that's agreeing with that.
Found those by now?
Maybe Wolfgang was carried by the killer.
No.
That, or Wolfgang never told Grace sick.
No.
Maybe Grace.
How? If anything, telling you the truth is putting my ass on the line.
Fair. She wouldn't. Oh, lying about this. Okay, hold on.
The truth, Grace.
I hate the fact that I don't get my full health back though, but that's neither here nor there.
I've got nothing else to explain. The last I saw Wolfgang, he was in our dorm room.
Okay, hear me out. Secret hallways.
We would have found those by now.
Maybe Wolfgang was carried by the killer.
That, or Wolfgang never told Grace he was sick.
I wouldn't lie about what he said.
What if Wolfgang used the elevator in the tree?
You're not helping.
No, he couldn't have been carried by the killer though.
Why don't you tell everyone the truth, Grace?
I've got nothing else to explain. The last I saw Wolfgang, he was in our dorm room.
Hold on, let me just check one thing.
Hallways.
We would have found those by now.
Maybe Wolfgang was carried by the killer.
Oh, I lost it. Dang it. There's a major discrepancy in Grace's testimony, but is it necessarily your fault or that?
Why don't you tell everyone the truth, Grace?
I've got got nothing else to explain. The last I saw Wolfgang...
We would have found those by now. Maybe Wolfgang was carried by the kill.
There we go. I know it.
That's wrong!
It's true Grace's testimony is inconsistent with where we found Wolfgang's body. But that's not Grace's fault. The only person we should be blaming is Wolfgang himself.
What the heck? Why are you blaming him?
Simple. Because he lied about being sick.
Seriously?
Yup.
You can cooperate. Can't you, Toshiko? During the investigation, you told me you saw Wolfgang in the hallways at 8:10 a.m.
That's after I left.
Okay.
Yes. I remember now. Ingrid. She had developed a headache, so I went to the pharmacy to find some medication. The trip itself went fine, but when I returned to the hallway, I found myself face to face
with Wolfgang?
Hold the phone! Toshiko actually saw Wolfgang?
we had a normal, pleasant exchange. He appeared perfectly healthy and even mentioned going to the tournament. Of course, he never made it.
I don't want to be that guy, but can anyone confirm this?
Mm-hmm. I heard them chatting a while in my room. Though I was bedridden like a sitting ghost, I could still make out their voices here and there.
Strange. He told Grace he wouldn't attend the tournament, but then said the opposite to Toshiko.
Sounds like he was telling fibs to conceal his actual intentions.
And what's his true plan supposed to be?
To go to the boiler room. Most likely.
I'm lost. What business would a guy like him have down there?
What did Wolfgang go to the boiler room? That I can also answer. Must have been the letter. Or is it? Suspicious note.
This is it.
During the investigation, I found this note tucked away inside Wolfgang's blazer pocket. A lot of it is water damaged. The paper looks like it was ripped from a notebook, and the handwriting was done in ink. But some parts are still legible.
Secret 815 boiler room. Close the door.
This mentions the boiler room.
Exactly. The fact we found Wolfgang in the boiler room, and this note in his pocket. It can't be a coincidence. This note must be the reason Wolfgang went there.
That mention of a secret sure is suspicious. I'm willing to bet Wolfie's reason had something to do with it.
Agreeing to meet a stranger in some spooky dark place? Wolfgang had nerves of steel.
Ulysses, Grace, do you remember Wolfgang getting delivered a weird note?
No. The only time I recall him receiving anything was when Tozu distributed those envelopes.
I don't know anything about a note.
Really? Wolfgang shared nothing with you guys?
Guess he didn't want them to know what it said.
Right. And if Wolfgang wanted to keep this note a secret, he would obviously want to keep the meeting a secret too.
Then the reason he told Grace he felt sick
was to remove her from the picture.
Yeah.
Once she's not in the room, Wolfgang has his opportunity to sneak out and head downstairs. That's also why he encouraged her to attend the tournament.
Oh.
Didn't the same guy ask us to share our blackmail with each other? Talk about double standards.
For real.
Are we sure he wasn't just trying to protect Grace? Maybe he knew he was meeting someone dangerous, so he thought it would be safer not to involve her.
That does sound like something Wolfgang would do.
Somebody dangerous, though.
Not to interrupt, but on the subject of blackmail, did Wolfgang ever confront the person he had?
Oh.
Oh? You don't know whose blackmail he got?
Well, if you recall what Wolfgang said originally.
For that reason, I implore you all to speak with the person whose blackmail you have, and them only. Even if the contents of the envelope seem horrible, give the person a chance to explain themselves.
Regardless of the blackmail's contents, it would be treated as a matter between the recipient and the subject of the blackmail, and no one else. Which makes me wonder, could whether or not Wolfgang confronted his person clue us into what had originally been written on that note?
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
If that person somehow realized Wolfgang carried their blackmail, but never came forward about it, they could have demanded Wolfgang show it to them, hence the mention of a secret. However, if Wolfgang did confront his person, I don't see why that same person would then send him a threatening note. Not least act coy about information they both know.
If the person being blackmailed wasn't the one who wrote the note, who was?
Obviously, it would be the student with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, I knew that.
Yes, the secret in question may actually be a reference to Wolfgang's blackmail, not the sender's.
Is there any way to figure out whose secret it is?
We'd probably need to know whose blackmail Wolfgang had first.
And that we don't know.
Oh, I've got just the idea. Yo, person who Wolfgang had blackmail on. If he gave you your blackmail back, can you say something?
Don't forget the person with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, boy.
Oh, right. Hey, person who's got Wolfgang's blackmail. If you're innocent, say something already.
Oh, boy. If I'm innocent, I should say something. Would telling everyone I have Wolfgang's blackmail really guarantee my innocence in their eyes? I don't know. Although everyone may follow my direction during the trial since they can't ignore the evidence on my side. When it comes to me, of all people, owning Wolfgang's blackmail, how do I know they won't suddenly change their tune? They might chastise me for not revealing his blackmail sooner, or they might think I'm confessing or accusing me of murdering him. It's not like I would be able to refute their arguments, but I do really want to change the subject to... Do I really want to change the subject to myself to all that? Oh, gosh. But do I really want to subject myself to all of that? That's what I meant to say. Does the trajectory of this trial really depend on whether or not I
was hesitant to admit it, since I knew it would put me on the spot. But I'd rather be suspected than be the reason this trial comes to a standstill.
Are you confessing? Do you have Wolfgang's blackmail?
Nah, not his.
Seriously? Way to be anticlimactic.
He had yours.
It's thanks to him that I have my own.
Oh, so he had yours.
Own?
Wolfgang approached me the same day everyone received an envelope. Funnily enough, it happened right after I'd finished speaking with my own person. He and we had a good talk. He gave me his envelope and asked me to take care of it. If you need the proof.
Ah, Wolfgang's envelope had the same signature.
Aye. I held on to the letter for safekeeping. This should have all been said sooner. I realize that. I suppose my pride was stronger than my rectitude. My mistake for stringing everyone along.
I mean, at least you're honest.
Yeah. Unlike our main character.
Thanks for letting us know, bud.
Indeed. To acknowledge one's own misdoings is a most virtuous feat, I believe.
Right. It's very noble.
Yeah. Very noble. If I reveal my blackmail right now, would everyone here treat me the same? Would they be would they be just as forgiving?
The blackmail person isn't gonna step forward.
If nothing happens, let's just have everyone recite whose blackmail they got one by one.
Huh? You sure that's a good idea?
No one's reciting shit.
It was only a suggestion. Calm your farm.
Reveal it.
Even if we knew who had Wolfgang's blackmail, that doesn't necessarily mean they're his killer. It's annoying they won't speak up, sure. But unlike John, they would actually need to reveal Wolfgang's blackmail to prove they have it. This person might just want to respect Wolfgang's request to keep the blackmail between two people, especially now that he's gone.
I don't know. Is it really okay if we never find out?
Circumstantial evidence alone can't prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. If we want to solve this case, we need indisputable evidence.
Yeah. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle without the box art to help you.
The cases, or...
Obviously, the case. The more pieces you connect, the clearer the image you're constructing becomes.
I mean, I get the understand. Like, when I say they do not trust, like, I hate the fact that they do not trust their other teammates, because, like, it's I don't know. It's like it's creating a very huge rift, I would say personally, but you know. But I understand
the more you can assume about it. Do you see what I'm saying? Once we know how Wolfgang died, the rest of this case should fall into place.
I understand their thought process behind it, because they want to steer the case. They want to steer the case towards like his death rather than like the blackmail and everything. Cause that might take the case to like some other direction that shouldn't have. So I get that part.
You certainly talk a lot. Stranger than you used to. But I think I get it.
Well, I don't want to be the one to start, but we can all agree Wolfgang was stabbed to death, right?
No, I don't know that part. Stabbed to death.
When I was in the boiler room, I saw a knife bobbing around in the water near him. And on the ground, there was blood. Dried blood. On the boiler room floor and on the hallway floor.
That's gotta be Wolfgang's blood, right?
Nah.
The knife was bloody, so...
Huh. Seems like a brawl happened in the hallway. While poor Wolfie was minding his own business, he was confronted by the killer, who attacked him and chased him into the boiler room.
That would line up with how we found him.
The killer stabbed Wolfgang in the hallway, then followed him into the boiler room? No. No, that's not what happened. I need to show everyone where they've gone wrong. Because the tablet does not... So, for one, the tablet does not show how he died.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The spots.
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence. It was floating in the water right next to him.
Hold on. Hold on.
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor and along the underground hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Nah, it was probably a sneak attack. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang, stabbed him from behind, and the rest is history.
With that knife-wielding villain on his tail, Wolfgang had no other place to run but the boiler room.
So, the killer entered the boiler room after him, which was when they...
I think it's a confrontation part.
Ended it.
It don't make sense.
No, it doesn't. Whatever the story they're trying to spin here is definitely not the truth. I can conclude that much from the crime scene.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence.
Because she did mention
it was floating in the water right next to him.
A confrontation of some kind.
There's blood on the boiler room floor and along the underground hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Oh, never mind. I had a hard time to understand this prevalent. Okay.
Is this really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
So that's not
the
it.
bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence. It was floating in the water right next to him.
Okay, Tozu's tablet too. Comfy popcorn.
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor and along the underground hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
No, not in the hallway. No. Oh my goodness, I'm
Is this
losing it.
really how you guys think Wolfgang died?
The bloody knife is way too big of a coincidence. It was floating in the water right next to him.
Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor and along the underground hallway.
A confrontation must have happened in those hallways.
Nah, it was probably a sneak attack. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang, stabbed him from behind.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, he didn't stab him from behind because he wouldn't be slumped over like that. I just need more health, man.
You talk a lot about the knife and the bloodstains on the floor. But did you ever look at Wolfgang himself?
I gave him a glance. Nothing too deep.
I figured.
Damn.
Had you actually taken the time to look at Wolfgang's back, you would have noticed a clear absence of stab wounds.
Wait, hold on. I don't like that, cause that sort of logic. Cause it wouldn't make sense for me to use Tozu's tablet then. It would make I don't know. I don't see the logic behind that one. I don't see the logic behind that one. But okay.
In fact, none of the injuries he sustained were the type to cause severe blood loss. Seriously, we went over the same thing with Cassidy during the mock trial. Couldn't you give Wolfgang the dignity of a proper investigation?
Hey, man, it's not like I didn't try. It's just, this stuff doesn't come easy, you know? Nobody wakes up thinking they'll have to solve their buddy's murder later.
Isn't that exactly what you should be worrying about in a killing game?
Yeah.
Not everyone has the stomach for investigating. That's fine. That's why you got people like me to do the heavy lifting. Since some of us here weren't able to investigate Wolfgang's body, I'll lay out his injuries. There were 2 marks on the back of his neck, a bruise, and a tiny red dot. His hands were burnt too, so 3 injuries in total. Besides that, I caught nothing else.
Burns, you say?
Junior high, my dear Wilson. The killer used a flamethrower.
Oh my
These
gosh.
didn't look like normal burns. Not the sort you'd get from a stove fire, or a hot iron, or a flamethrower. I
So
suppose.
internal burns?
Contradicting my theory outright? Jeez. So this is the thanks I get for vocalizing my thoughts?
Sorry, lass.
Yes, if I may add on to what John said. The burns actually bore a strong resemblance to what you might see in cases of corona paralysis.
Chiaro... Huh?
Coronal paralysis.
Now this I know. Coronal paralysis. It's something which happens to lightning strike victims. Getting struck by lightning is like getting kicked by a horse. The impact is so shocking, some people will lose all feeling in their limbs for a few hours.
I was aware of lightning paralysis, but even I didn't know its official name. That's a nice head you've got on your shoulders.
Lots of people tend to overlook the importance of lightning safety, especially where I'm from. My grandpappy once tried working out in the open during a thunderstorm. Pure luck's the only reason he lived to see the next day.
Sorry to hear that and all, but what does lightning have to do with anything?
Well, if I had to guess, Ulysses, did it look like a big old tree was drawn on Wolfie?
A big old tree. Yes, that's how I would describe the burns on Wolfgang.
So Wolfgang had lightning strike scars?
Huh? We're trapped inside a building, though. Lightning can't come from anywhere.
Could he not have been struck before the killing game? Fate is stronger than will, you know. Perhaps the deity decreed the glow of his altruism from their heavenly abode and felt him a threat.
Nay, those burns were fresh. One look was all it took for me to know that. If he had these scars before, we would have noticed them anyway.
Yeah.
But if those marks were recently inflicted, wouldn't it mean Wolfgang somehow went outside?
Not necessarily.
The boiler.
This is only something I thought of just now, but... The reason Wolfgang sustained burns similar to that of lightning strike victims may be because whatever inflicted his burns was equivalent in damage to a lightning strike.
You saying there's something out here channeling the power of lightning?
Something equivalent in damage to a lightning strike. The idea sounded ridiculous, but when I think back on the boiler room, I'm so sorry. When I think back on the boiler room and what was inside it, right? If I take that object into consideration, Ulysses' theory starts to hold some weight. Yes.
This is it.
This is it.
Ulysses, since you write everything down, do you have a description of the boiler room in your notebook?
Yes, I do. Why?
Since some people here never investigated the crime scene, they probably aren't as familiar with the room as we are. So, you should read out your description of it.
Sure. The boiler room consists of a small concrete platform surrounded by ankle-deep water. Throughout the room are boxes filled with various garbage, and in the back looks to be a generator, charred beyond belief. What you just heard is a brief summary of my notes.
Hear that? There's a generator inside the boiler room. Of all the things which could deal similar damage to a lightning strike, doesn't a generator sound the most likely?
Didn't Ulysses say it was destroyed?
At the time of the investigation, sure. But it wasn't always destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't remember. But back when we found the dummy, I mentioned something about the underground floor.
The dining hall people, you were in this building before. Tell us what's going on. Gotta read this again. Oh, yeah. Why didn't you mention this other girl? The hell? I never saw her. Huh? You were there too, Barkenbin? Don't even. There's a floor below us. That's where I woke up.
To be more specific, it was the boiler room I woke up inside. I hadn't been alone either. Ava was also there.
I woke up first.
Yeah. She did. Anyway, Ava, you agree the generator was in full working condition when we woke up, right?
Right.
So in the time since you woke up there, the generator was destroyed?
It's the only possibility. As for what destroyed the generator, well, it's hard to say for sure. My best guess would probably be...
Don't waste my time.
Ooh.
Two things. First, destroyed is overly vague. Ulysses explained the state of the generator much better. Charred beyond belief. Second, and more importantly, where's your proof the generator inflicted those burns?
What are you talking about? The generator must be involved. It's near where Wolfgang is lying.
Being within range of something counts as proof now, does it? Do you also consider happenstance as conclusive evidence? Funny how the standards shift, if so.
That?
Damn it, she's trying to make me look like an idiot. If I let this continue, the others might start to doubt me. I need to stop her before she veers the trial off track. Oh no. So it's like okay. They combined it. I'm seeing they're combining it. They're combining like all the Danganronpas into like one game. And this was like, I think this was in like 2. I think this was in 2 or 3. One of the 2 games. I remember it being in 1 though. I don't remember it being in 1. But I remember it being in 2. So essentially what you gotta do is like slice off like a whole bunch of like opinions or whatever. It's weird. Thought you were only one with an interjection animation. Think again. Sometimes a student will dislike your argument so much that they will initiate a one-on-one debate with you. You'll call this a rebuttal showdown. During a rebuttal showdown, your opponent will fling a flurry of remarks at you, and your job is to counter them. Use WASD keys to slice your opponent argument. Naturally, you will slash in the direction of the button pressed. To slice diagonally, simply press two keys at the same time. Be sure to pay close attention to the shape and size and the position of your opponent's remarks, as these will clue you into what direction you should slice. Every time you strike a white text, a green text will shift left to present you an argument succeeding. Likewise, you'll miss white text and orange. Wait, she will shift you to the opponent's winning. Okay, it's just like, yeah. If you cut through enough remarks, you will advance the next stage. If you haven't, you'll retreat. If you somewhere in the middle, you and your opponent will wrestle for control in a sort of like cross swords. In order to gain upper hand, you must rapidly left click. Okay. Now the meat of the duel, truth blades. Similar to non-stop debates, any suspected contradictions will highlight in gold. Right click to slice them apart with truth blade. Of course, don't start slicing the second you see a gold. Assess the validity of the remark and check you have the correct truth blade equipped. I'm sorry. My nose. I'm sorry about that. Now let's not keep Winona waiting any longer to battle. Alright. This is gonna be a lot.
While the generator may look suspicious, consider the time frame we're working with. If the only time you saw the generator in full working condition was on the day of our kidnapping, that gives us a period of almost 4 days in which the generator might have been destroyed.
What about the blackout? It's impossible for the generator to cause the blackout if it was already broken prior to the tournament.
What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after the murder. You only assume it happened during. Not the smartest argument from a supposed ultimate debater.
Alright, no. The blackout definitely is connected to Wolfgang's death. There's a certain piece of evidence which proves the two events are correlated.
What about the blackout? The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after the murder.
Oh.
You only assume it happened during. Not the smartest argument from a supposed ultimate debater.
Hold on. I did that wrong. It's a DJ clock, okay.
The building may very well have lost its power at any point before or after.
There we go.
I'll cut through those words.
I'll cut through those words.
When the blackout happened, it froze a piece of equipment which had been set up for the game tournament. Mark's DJ pad. While there was no physical clock inside the dining hall, a digital one has been built into Mark's pad. If you look at what time the digital clock is frozen on, it matches the time of death listed on the tablet, 9:35 a.m.
Well, Mark, is this true?
Yeah.
No, stop.
Yeah.
No point in me saying anything when someone else has already said it better.
Just answer with a yes or no, will you?
Yes.
In any case, the matching times are too much of a coincidence. The destruction of the generator caused the blackout, and the blackout occurred at the time of the murder. There's no way the destruction of the generator wasn't tied to Wolfgang's death.
What do you suppose happened then?
I'm willing to bet the generator's destruction resulted in the boiler room's water becoming electrified.
No.
Since Wolfgang was discovered kneeling in the water, we can reason he was standing in it at the time this happened, and...
Damon, you and I both know that's not true.
Huh?
Yeah, I was about to say that's not true.
Did you forget? It's impossible for the water in the boiler room to play a role in Wolfgang's murder. Because it isn't even conductive.
Yeah.
It's not? After Damon and I woke up in the boiler room, I wanted to investigate the flooded area. So, I tested the water.
Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Eva approach a pile of boxes and fish out a light bulb. Then, without hesitation, plop, she chucked it into the water.
I even redid my test during the investigation, since Damon wasn't sure if he should touch Wolfgang's wet clothes. In both instances, I proved the water was safe to enter. To be honest, neither result really surprised me. Water will only act as a conductor if it makes contact with two separate energy sources. The boiler room's generator is just one source.
If you're standing in the water, one outlet should be enough. Speaking from experience, large bodies of water are terrifying conductors during storms. All it takes is one lightning bolt, and the surrounding miles are scorched.
But the generator is a slow, persistent source of electricity. It's not the same as a lightning strike.
Electricity is electricity. Doesn't matter how it manifests. The reason you two avoided electrocution is because the generator's exposed wires aren't even touching the water. If they were, you would have been scorched right from the start.
Oh, something more
When
sinister.
the generator was destroyed, some of the wiring fell into the water?
Nah. Even in its current sorry state, the generator's wires are nowhere near the water.
It doesn't make sense for the generator to pose a danger anyway. The point of the killing game is for the students to kill each other, not for the facility to kill the students. A feature of the building killing a student would be a meaningless death because you can't attribute a student killer to it.
As for why the generator's been charred, sometimes electrical faults happen. Even my ship's engines have broken under particularly relentless storms. And if an electrical fault caused Wolfgang's death, then his murder is purely on the hosts, ain't it?
Of course! If we were responsible for his death, you lot wouldn't be here discussing it.
That's... Is the generator really related to the case? But the timing of the blackout is too perfect. It can't be a coincidence.
Okay, since we've ruled out the generator, what else could have electrocuted Wolfgang?
It mightn't be relevant, but I did see one other thing on the boiler room floor. A toy gun or something. At least, that's how it came across to me.
Not a toy gun, a taser gun.
A taser? I'll shoot electricity!
I'm not sure how the taser fits in with this case, though. It doesn't seem to have been used.
No.
Nope. The taser was definitely used.
Yep, I was about to say.
How so? I didn't catch any sort of string protruding from it.
Not all taser guns release a string when fired. Some are completely wireless. For those types, you can tell they've been used if their blast doors are missing. Side note, blast doors are plastic panels which cover the muzzle of a taser. If a shot is fired, they pop clean off. When I was investigating the crime scene, I found the taser gun in one spot and its blast doors in another. Speaks for itself, yeah?
So where was the
Here
blast
I was
doors?
thinking the yellow bits were just random trash.
Where the heck did a taser gun even come from? Last time I checked, there weren't any lying around in the storage closets.
Maybe it belongs to someone here.
Huh?
Just think about it for 1 second. Everyone here has a dorm room which is themed around their talent. Mine's got DJ equipment, Jet's got car batteries. If that's what we have with our talents, what could someone with a dangerous talent have?
Are you talking about, like, knives and stuff? What? Is there something on my face?
Forget this. The person I'm talking about is Desmond.
Huh? No way! You think the gun is Desmond's?
Yeah.
Hang on. You've got it all mixed up.
Jean, do you know anything about this? As Desmond's roommate, perhaps you spotted something inside his dorm.
Alas, we stayed in my abode. I couldn't tell you if he had weapons.
Talk about suspicious.
Did Desmond agree to bunk in Jean's dorm so Jean wouldn't see the weapons in his?
Listen, I get where you guys are coming from, but that taser gun, it's not mine. I've never seen anything like it.
No, that's a lie.
A lie?
His attempt to feign innocence won't fool me. Not when I know the truth. What proves Desmond is lying? His talent.
A
No.
marksman is obviously going to have a taser.
Oh, actually, no.
Like I said, I don't have any weapons.
Dang it. Continue. Okay. Or who's this blackmail? No.
Desmond's remarkable charm.
Now's not really the...
Okay, never mind. Blackmail.
I got it.
The blackmail tools you gave us. That's my evidence.
Oh.
You didn't get mine, did you?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
But the person who did informed me of what it said.
With his weapon at his hand, Desmond guards the only one he trusts.
The writing style seems to match. I think it's legit.
That's more than a little suspicious, don't you think? Leaving a bunch of weapons unguarded during a killing game?
Don't judge me. This is the first time I'm hearing of it too.
You didn't know there were weapons in your room?
Yep, no idea.
Our rooms aren't particularly subtle in their theming. Are we supposed to believe yours is any different?
It is themed. I'm not denying that. But I sure as hell didn't catch sight of any weapons. If I did, do you seriously think I'd leave them unguarded and risk being found out?
Yeah. Desmond cares too much about everyone. He pointed out the broken doorknobs and gave us the idea to bunk together. Why would he hide weapons in his room?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talents, and found the taser gun hidden inside. There's no other way to explain it.
So while Desmond gets a bunch of guns, all I get is an old game console and a dead controller.
Take the bad with the good, dearest people. No one fears game consoles. Well, no one besides parents and the religiously inclined.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll give him that one.
Enough talking about consoles. Why are you guys believing Desmond so easily? If the taser gun belongs to him, then he's the killer. Any argument he makes against it is just a flimsy excuse.
Nah. I wouldn't say that. Blackout, taser gun.
Desmond is the killer. The taser gun came from his room.
I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my dorm to begin with.
Because you wanted to draw attention away from your weapons hoard.
But...
If this is about avoiding suspicion,
Blackout.
why did Desmond say the taser gun was fired?
Okay. Wait, Winona does not recall blackout happening. Same goes for Eloise, who spent her morning in the courtyard with Desmond. Fetch quest, I'm sorry. And it knows like something with taser gun. Okay. It might be the blackout.
I don't think a killer would draw attention to their own murder weapon.
I was with Desmond.
Oh.
I call it reverse psychology. You sprinkle in a little helpfulness, and suddenly everyone trusts you.
When the murder happened...
Is Desmond innocent? When I compared the evidence to everyone's statements...
Desmond is the killer!
Yeah, I know the logical thing here.
I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my dorm to begin with.
No.
Because you
That's
want
going
to draw
against him.
attention away from your weapons hoard.
But...
If this is about avoiding suspicion, why did Desmond say the taser gun was fired? I don't think a killer would draw attention to their own murder weapon.
I...
Wait. Hey! Okay. I was about to say. Oh my gosh, I was about to say.
Regardless of whether or not Desmond knew about the gun, he definitely wasn't involved in the murder. Eloise can back me up on this.
Right. Desmond and I, we were together in the courtyard at the time of Wolfgang's death.
I see. Then both of you can be ruled out as suspects.
Oh.
Don't just take her word for it. She could be covering for Desmond.
Jeez, if you have a bone to pick with these guys, at least save it for when we're not solving a murder.
Yeah. Why don't you want to believe Eloise?
Ever since the investigation, these two yuppies have been on my case non-stop. They're obviously working together.
Not gonna lie, I see where Grace is coming from. When Eloise tried to single her out earlier, Desmond was pretty quick to jump in and agree.
Even so... since the topic has been brought up, I would like to mention something.
Hmm?
During my trip to the pharmacy, I believe I saw Desmond and Eloise in the courtyard together.
You also said you were back in the hallways around 8-10 a.m., didn't you? That means those two were wandering around unsupervised. Either one of them could have left the courtyard.
If Desmond was the killer, what would Eloise gain from defending him?
True.
Should the wrong vote be cast, nothing about the rules suggests an accomplice of the killer would be exempt from execution.
That's right! And even if she was exempt, Eloise is too nice to be an accomplice to murder.
I wouldn't say all that, but yeah.
Grace, I realize Desmond's irked you, but that's no reason to keep steering everyone down a dead end. Let's move on.
A person who's always steering others down a dead end, huh? I guess they needed a GPS.
Oh my gosh. Cassidy.
Totally thank Desmond for clearing things up now. Not only do we know he's not the killer, now we know how the killer got their hands on the taser.
Now we know how... What?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside.
Yup, that is word for word what Desmond said.
Right. Good memory.
All in a day's work, baby!
Can you repeat that quote, Cassidy?
Again. But I just said it.
Yeah, but I want you to say it again.
Alright. Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent and found the taser gun
hidden inside. Whoa.
Is there something on your mind?
If Desmond's testimony is anything to go by, then... wouldn't this mean the culprit has to be male?
What?
If I remember correctly, all the guys were aware of each other's pairings. With that sort of knowledge, a male student could try and infiltrate another male student's dorm.
None of us knew which room we'd be bunking in.
It only takes a quick peek to check if someone's inside or not. Anyone could have done that.
And who's to say the thief didn't barge in before we started bunking?
Or while people were having breakfast.
Yeah, a lot has happened between then, so...
Seems there was a mountain of opportunities for our culprit to sneak in unnoticed. Doesn't exactly help us narrow things down, does it?
Yeah. Unless you did it. No, I'm stop.
Well, guess this taser gun was a bust.
Look on the bright side. If it's been fired, then it's probably what electrocuted Wolfie. If trying to suss out who stole it isn't feasible, why don't we talk about Wolfie's other injuries instead? You know, the ones that weren't burn marks? Those seem like they could lead us somewhere.
Yeah, besides the burns on his hands, Wolfgang also had a bruise and a tiny red dot on the back of his neck.
A bruise and a tiny dot, huh? Wanna try tackling them in alphabetical order?
On his neck?
Alphabetical order? Now, aren't you full of smart ideas?
No need to thank me. It's only common sense.
Okay, let's discuss the bruise first.
I think it's safe to say the killer didn't use a flamethrower.
Maybe Wolfgang got into a fight? Someone might have attacked him and aimed for his neck.
If you can even reach that high.
Either way, something must have hit him.
What if Wolfie fell over? With how spindly he is, one tiny misstep could leave the poor fella bruised for days.
Skinny guys bruise easily, eh? Let's see if you're right. Ulysses, fall over.
No, thank you.
Something must have caused that bruise on Wolfgang's neck. What could have?
I think it's safe to say the killer didn't use a flamethrower.
Maybe Wolfgang got into a fight? Someone might have attacked him and aimed for his neck.
If you can even reach that high.
Either way, something must have hit him.
There we go.
I got it.
Kai is right. Something did hit Wolfgang.
Really? Man. And I was only blurting out the first thing which came to mind. Anyway, from how you're wording things, do you know what that something is?
A rolling pin.
A rolling pin.
Eh?
Wolfgang was hit with a rolling pin.
How on earth did you reach that conclusion?
Ava and I found this pin inside storage closet A, which is just a few feet from the crime scene. Coincidentally, the pin also has a dent.
You sure that's enough to say it's involved? Could just be a flimsy pin.
No, there's something else which solidifies this pin's role in the murder. Handprints. 2 of them on the edge of the pin.
So the killer used a rolling pin to attack Wolfgang?
It certainly explains the bruising on his neck.
They must have wanted him to be unconscious so he wouldn't fight back.
Exactly. It would be easier to drag him into the water if he's not awake.
You reckon the killer purposely put Wolfie in the water?
Damn! With one electrified blow, Wolfgang is zapped to bits with the taser! Since he's lying in the water, he's definitely a goner.
Considering the logical ethos of the killer's rectitude, especially when governed under constricting pressure, leaving him catatonic would be the most facile solution.
Hey.
I guess it makes sense.
What's up with all that? After shooting Wolfgang with a taser, what was the killer's next move? If I figured that out, I'd be one step closer to solving this case. Storage closets.
So let me get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin, and then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs, because the 2 of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember?
Hold on.
Jed and I checked closet B.
Hold on. Fetch quests. What was it? Closets. So, okay. Eva and Grace was in storage A. Jed and Cassidy was in storage B. Kai and I was in C. And Gina, Mark in entrance. Okay.
Damon and Kai checked closet C.
Damon. Wait.
Eva and Grace checked closet A.
Yeah.
And Jean and Mark checked closet D.
Mm-hmm.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah, I think Mark's right. Cause the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room immediately after discarding the pin.
Oh. Just because a killer placed a pin earlier doesn't mean they left.
So let me get this straight.
Hold on.
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
Mm-hmm.
And then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the two of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jed and I checked closet B.
Mm-hmm.
Damon and Kai checked closet C.
Hold on. The jet, no, the jet, okay. Wait, hold on.
Eva and Grace checked closet A. And Jean and Mark checked closet B.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
No, it can't be that one.
Leave me out of this.
So let me get this straight.
Hold on.
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
Hold on.
And then chucked the pin into
Chuck
closet
the pin
A?
in the closet A, okay.
When exactly did they discard the pin?
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the two of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jed and I checked closet B.
No.
Brain dead?
Never
So let me
mind.
get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin. And then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the two of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember?
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah.
No.
Get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
Hold on. Let me see the rolling pin one. Discovered inside closet A. Okay.
And then chucked the pin into closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the two of us went inside closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jed and I checked closet B. Damon and Kai checked closet C. Eva and Grace checked closet A. And Jean and Mark checked closet D.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
Yeah. I think Mark's right.
No, that's not right.
The killer could run upstairs and go back to their room immediately after discarding the pin.
Hold on.
So let me get this straight.
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin.
No, because there was nothing in there. There was nothing inside the storage closets. I know all the Eva, that stuff don't matter. I think it's the storage closets, and then like what was there is like the contradiction here. Okay.
The killer just discarded the pin before downstairs.
Is that's not it? All right.
So let me
The killer knocked out Wolfgang with
I
a
wish you
rolling
can skip.
pin. And then chucked
I'm
the
about to
pin
lose
into closet A.
time.
When exactly did they discard the pin? They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs. Because the two of us went inside closet A. Why were you inside the closet? To find the backup generator, remember?
Yeah, I'm about to lose time.
Grace checked closet.
Damn it, I missed my chance. Game over. Damn. Yeah, because essentially what they're trying to imply is that the rolling pin was like discarded like basically before we got there. But hold on.
So let me get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin, and then chucked the pin into Closet A?
When exactly did they discover?
I think it had to be Diana's statement and not Mark.
When Eva and I were already downstairs, because the two of us went inside Closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jet and I checked Closet B. Damon and Kai checked Closet C. Eva and Grace checked Closet A. And Jean and Mark checked Closet D.
Okay.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
I don't agree with that statement, but
I think Mark's right. Because the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room. They're discarding the pin.
You really gonna...
Cassidy discussed this matter earlier in the trial.
So let me get this
hold on. I just don't know which one to pick.
Killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin, and chucked the pin into Closet A?
When exactly did they discard the pin?
They couldn't have done it when Eva and I were already downstairs, because the two of us went inside Closet A.
Why were you inside the closet?
To find the backup generator, remember? Jet and I checked Closet B.
Okay, hold on. Let me see the footsteps one. Because definitely the storage closets. Because there was like nothing in there. For generate steel one pin. One end. Very clear handprints. Footsteps. When Kai and I were exploring storage clear, we heard some footsteps sounded past the boiler room. Based on how soft the footsteps are, it can be inferred that the person was not wearing shoes. I was assuming that was the footsteps, but
Damon and Kai checked Closet C. Eva and Grace checked Closet A. And Jean and Mark checked Closet D.
The killer just discarded the pin before we came downstairs.
and I wanted to use that, but
I think Mark's right. Because the killer could run upstairs and go back to their room immediately. Discarding.
Oh, it's just after. Okay, that's why. It's immediately after is what she said. Okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Diana, there's proof the killer fled the underground hallway at a later time.
Yeah. Is a term immediately after.
We're looking for a backup generator. Kai and I heard someone run past our room.
Okay, because I initially thought, like, he said before, so I'm like, yeah, that's a wrong statement too. But when she said immediately after, it implies that essentially, like, when we got there, they discarded it or something like that. I don't know the thought process behind it, but you know.
Huh?
Oh man, that's right.
Yeah.
We were just exploring the closet when all of a sudden we heard footsteps in the hallway. That's when Damon decided he was gonna follow where the footsteps came from and entered the boiler room.
Did anyone else hear these footsteps?
Nope. Not ringing any bells.
Yeah, Jet and me didn't really hear it over all our talking.
I heard the footsteps. Ah, you did? Well, I initially thought it was my imagination, so I never said anything.
Ashamed to say, I also brushed off the footsteps. Thought I was hearing things. However, since other people can attest to hearing them...
Then someone else was on the underground floor with us.
Before anyone tries to bring it up, None of the tournament attendees could have been the person running. Since everyone explored the closets in pairs, they all have solid alibis.
I'm sure we can all vouch for that, aye?
Everyone was still in their closets after Damon and I found Wolfgang, so...
Considering the footsteps were moving away from the crime scene, I think it's safe to say they belong to the killer.
Wouldn't that mean the killer fled while you guys were exploring the rooms?
Yep.
Hold up! So the killer had been right next to us?
Doy, that's a given.
Doy. Doy.
Huh? How are you so calm after hearing that? The only thing which stood between us and a murderer was a door. What if they attacked us?
Well, they did it, so I don't see what the problem is.
Okay, that's kind of ridiculous.
Sheesh, you're weird.
Why not run away earlier, though? Fleeing while everyone is searching seems really risky.
Maybe it was a miscalculation?
It's not impossible, I guess.
If not that, then maybe the killer returned to the boiler room after discarding the pin?
Sounds pretty meat-headed if you ask me.
Yes, you'd think a killer would use that moment to run away.
For the two who heard the footsteps, describe the sound.
It was kinda... socky. As in, it sounded pretty soft. Like the person had taken off their shoes.
Saki, huh? Seems this killer was purposefully trying to keep quiet.
Cause their footsteps were soft?
That seems like a leap in logic.
No, I get what she's saying. Everyone here has socks on, I'm pretty sure. So any one of us could have run down the hallway. The thing with shoes is, not everyone here has the same kind. If the killer had worn theirs, we might have been able to figure out their footwear from the sound it made on the floor. Then we just have to single out the person with that footwear. Man, it would have been so easy to find the killer.
We already can find the killer, though.
What?
Yes, we can.
Oi, are you pulling out leg? I'm completely serious. Picture a map of the building complex in your head. The building with the dorms is on the left, the courtyard is in the middle, and the building with the tree is on the right. Now,
Okay.
try and pin everyone's locations during Wolfgang's murder. Once you do that, the identity of the killer will definitely become clear.
Is the killer someone whose position we can't place?
No, it's not about position.
Eh?
Wolfgang's killer can easily lie about their location during the murder. The only thing distinguishing their testimony from everyone else's is that theirs can't be corroborated.
Yep. In which case, our killer... That's right. The only one here who can possibly be the killer is you. I know exactly who it is.
It has to be you!
You!
Diana, it's you, isn't it?
Yup. Mm-hmm.
Huh? The makeup girl?
She's the only one here without an alibi. Those of us who attended the tournament can obviously be ruled out. And as for those who didn't,
they had a partner.
Desmond and Eloise were in the courtyard. Toshiko and Ingrid were in the same dorm room.
What about Winona? She never mentioned an alibi.
Ulysses.
Give me a break.
Winona and I were in the building with the tree all morning. In fact, yes, Desmond and Eloise should have witnessed us walking over there, as those two were in the courtyard at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
In that case, Diana really is the only one without an alibi.
Guys,
If she's the person who fled the boiler room, those footsteps we heard make a lot more sense. Heels make a pretty loud clop sound on hard floors, and the underground hallway's floor is pretty hard. Diana would obviously want to take them off.
I thought it was Toshiko for a second, but I'm like, nah.
Whoa. I didn't even think of it like that. You're totally right, though. Since Diana's the only one here with heels, she would have to take them off.
guys, what are you talking about? Me? A killer? Do you really think I could be a killer?
The fact you weren't at the tournament is incriminating enough.
Not just that. Everyone but you has an alibi.
But I do have an alibi. Right, Ava?
Huh?
You woke up with me this morning, and you never saw me leave my dorm.
During the brief amount of time we were together, I never saw you leave. What you did after I left for the game tournament, however, is anyone's guess.
Ava wanted to help me and Cash set up the tournament, so we told her to swing by early.
For that reason, I left Diana's dorm at 8:05 a.m. I know the exact time since her room has a clock. I probably entered the dining hall around 8:10 a.m.-ish.
So much for an alibi then.
Diana, don't tell me.
Holy smokes, it's all falling into place!
Are we sure there hasn't been some sort of misunderstanding?
Does Winona have anything to say?
It's not possible. Diana can't be the killer. No! I refuse to believe it!
Looks like some people here aren't willing to face the facts. That's not a problem. I'll make them face the facts. Whether they like it or not, soon enough, nobody will be able to deny Diana killed Wolfgang.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife, too.
Diana's blood? Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know. Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
Did we not already?
I don't have it wrong! There were only 2 people in the boiler room, and we've already proven one person wasn't stabbed. So the blood was left by the other person. The blood was left by the killer.
Okay, there's no contradictions
If
there.
it was Diana inside that boiler room,
Mhm.
could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife, too.
Diana's blood?
Oh, let me take the blood spots. Drops of blood were scattered around the boiler room door. They were also scattered They were also scattered in the outside hallway. My fault. Jeez.
Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
Posits, okay.
I don't know. Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
Did we not already agree? The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
Well, maybe they had both. The rolling pin in one hand, and the knife in the other.
Dual wielding weapons? Holy, this killer's next level.
That person's point is clearly impossible.
If it was
hold
Diana
on.
inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so,
Hold on.
that
See,
might be her blood on the knife, too.
hold on. I'm seeing the rolling pin. The dusty rolling pin discovered inside the storage closet. One end is a small dent, and the other is a very clear handprint.
Diana's blood? Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know. Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
Did we not already agree? The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
Well, maybe they had both. The rolling pin in one hand, and the knife in the other.
Dual wielding weapons? Holy, this
I
killer's
think
next
it's
level.
Toshiko's statement about the Okay, hold on. That person's point is clearly impossible. They should realize as much. Oh, they should realize as much if I point out that one piece of evidence.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife, too.
Diana's blood? Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know. Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
No.
I don't. There were only 2 people, so the blood was left by the other person.
Imagine contradictions where there are none. Okay.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife, too.
Oh, blood trail. There wasn't really much of a blood trail though.
Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know.
It's definitely a contradiction because he did mention it.
Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
Did we not already agree? The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
And the knife
No.
in the other.
If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood?
No, that's not it.
I can't imagine it. If it was Diana inside that boiler room, could she be the one who left the blood trail? Because if so, that might be her blood on the knife, too.
Diana's blood? Are you saying she wounded herself?
Wounded herself? What makes you think that?
I don't know.
Okay, because the storage closets doesn't really like add much. It's just the steel rolling pin and the knife. I just don't know what it was inside storage closet. And a dent, and then a knife itself. Only knife and a well, no, not the wife. I'm sorry, the blood spots.
Why else would the killer's blood be on their own weapon?
I don't see the contradiction here, man.
The killer was wielding a rolling pin?
Well, maybe they had both. The rolling pin.
Okay,
No,
that's
wrong.
it.
No. The killer was only wielding the rolling pin during their confrontation with Wolfgang.
Let me see the logic behind this, though. Mm-hmm.
You can tell just from looking at the pin. There are two handprints wrapped around the edge.
Ah, yes, I forgot about that part. There was two. Yeah, there was two. Like, yeah, they were holding it like a tennis racket. Yeah, I remember. Okay, now I remember. I gotta write some of the details down because I wish it would give you like more of the details, like everything in regards to like what that evidence entails. But you know, it is fine. That's cool.
Which makes sense because you can swing with more force if you use both hands.
Yeah.
And that's what a killer wants when trying to knock out a grown man.
Then, who held the knife?
It wasn't the killer, so it was most likely the only other person in the boiler room. Wolfgang Akire.
Hmm.
The hell are you talking about? Wolfgang, carrying a dangerous weapon? Bullshit!
If you were in his situation, wouldn't you? Wolfgang received an anonymous message asking him to meet in a basement, all whilst in the middle of a killing game. At that point, it doesn't matter how much of an optimist he is. He'd know better than to come unarmed.
A knife isn't super hard to find, either. Wolfgang probably just stole one from the kitchen.
Besides, if Diana is the one who got stabbed, it would explain the blood trail. Think about it. She arms herself with the rolling pin and attacks Wolfgang, getting hurt by him in the process. For some reason, possibly because of the blackout, she doesn't clean the blood trail she's leaving, and returns to her dorm room after.
No! That's wrong!
Huh?
I wasn't stabbed.
You
If I
sliced.
was stabbed, then I'd have an injury. But there's nothing, right? There's nothing on me.
Depends. If a vein got nipped, you'd be seeing blood no matter the size of the cut. Of course, that also means a small cut will need bandaging, which I'm not seeing on you.
You may not see any injuries on Diana, but that doesn't mean they aren't there.
Huh?
If she wanted, she could simply hide her injuries from view. After all, someone like her has exactly what it takes.
Diana's
I
talent.
got it. Her talent. As the ultimate cosmetologist, Diana could easily cover her wounds.
It makes sense. With the right equipment, she could probably disguise even a bandaged wound.
As Diana's bunking partner, I've seen firsthand how many different cosmetics are inside her room. So unfortunately, I have to agree.
Well, Diana, did I get anything wrong?
No. No. But
Wait. Diana, did you just say no? As in, no, you're not wrong that I covered up my wounds? Oh crap. You guys know what this means, right, guys? Diana basically just confessed!
A confession? Are you for real?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it? Diana got wounded, which proves she got in a fight with Wolfgang. Which means all that stuff about Wolfgang going to the boiler room, all that stuff really did happen.
I see. I see now what you're saying. Diana. She lured Wolfgang to the boiler room by writing him that note. And when he arrived, she attacked him and killed him. And now, she's been lying this entire trial, hoping we would never suspect her. Yeah! How cruel!
Diana, you...
It wasn't me. I promise. It wasn't me.
To think she could preach about friendship after committing a violent crime.
And then try and sentence the rest of us to punishment.
Golly, you're right. If we voted for the wrong person, we would have been executed.
Ah! That's so fucked!
Damn.
Diana? What the hell is your damage?
Well, what you gotta say?
Can we at least hear Diana's side of the story?
Her side?
Well, you know, Diana has, I just think it's fair we listen.
What does it matter what she says? Look at the evidence. This case, it's closed. We know who the killer is. If you really want to ask for Diana's side of the story, then do it after the vote.
After the vote, she's gonna be dead.
No!
Oh, yeah, she's gonna be dead. Vote. That's right. We have to vote for the killer. Dan, I've proven beyond a reasonable doubt that she's the killer. I've proven it beyond a reasonable doubt, so...
No.
Why is it that when I hear her cry, I get this strange nagging feeling in my chest? Why does a tiny part of me want to believe the things she's saying? Why all of a sudden... Oh, one thing they haven't proved, it was the pimple. Do I doubt myself? No, because we haven't... Suspicious note, fetch quest, knife.
the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room.
Yeah, because we haven't really like figured out a couple things. Because one thing we haven't figured out is that like pimple thing that he has in his arm. The shrapnel. There's a couple things. Suspicious note. That's one thing we haven't really figured out. The alcohol, the odd smell, the cereal and alcohol. And then the cord. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And then the doorknob. There's a lot of things we haven't figured out. That's why I'm like, wait, this is way too.
Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the rest of us would never learn the truth.
How could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep us together.
But I would never murder Wolfgang.
If you don't have an alibi, then you obviously did.
But I wanted to believe so badly that you were innocent. Why didn't I see you for who you were?
If this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick.
What are we waiting for then? Let's get this over with and vote.
Is Diana telling the truth? How is it possible when I already know the truth? It can't be possible not unless.
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room. Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Hold on.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the rest of us would never learn the truth.
How could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep us together.
But I would never murder Wolfgang.
If you don't have an alibi, then you obviously did.
Hold on.
But I wanted to believe so badly that you were innocent.
Because definitely an ethos bullet.
If this goes on any longer, I'm gonna be sick.
This is definitely an ethos bullet.
Let's get this over with and vote.
Hold on.
Diana was the one who lured Wolfgang to the boiler room. Once he got there, she killed him immediately.
Then she fled the crime scene, hoping the rest of us would never learn the truth.
How could you, Diana? Poor Wolfie was only trying to keep
Wait,
us
she's
together.
always been. Wait, what's a bullet? I wish I could see what the bullet says, because she's always been so nice.
Never murder Wolfgang.
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah, pathos. Pathos argument.
We know that Diana got stabbed during her confrontation with Wolfgang, but that doesn't prove she's the culprit.
Wait. Huh?
There's so many stuff.
What it should mean is that Diana was trying to get away from him as fast as possible.
Do you hear yourself right now?
He's lost his mind.
The stab wounds prove that Diana was in the same room as Wolfgang before his death. She's the killer.
Not necessarily.
I'm not. I'm not the killer.
Diana. Damn it. What's come over me? I'm getting all mushy and making a fool of myself in front of everyone.
Sheesh, Damon. How are you going to say all this dramatic stuff about Diana being the killer, and then say the opposite 5 minutes later?
There's like one evidence. I'm making a fool of myself. I'm making a fool of myself. And yet, when I think back on everything she's done, Just because they have different opinions doesn't mean they're bad people. They clearly want the same thing as the rest of us, right? They want to go home. So I think it's okay to give them a chance. Yeah, that's right. We can make it through this. I wish we could speak as well as you, Wolfgang. I realize everyone has been acting so tense around you and Eva. I want to say hi and check that you're okay. Well, in any case, if you ever need someone to talk to, just come find me, alright? Diana is always thinking of me when no one else was. She knew how frustrated I felt about Wolfgang. Of course, she tried to play it off as some kind of casual interaction between friends, but she tried to help me without making it seem like someone else, like someone who was in need, who needed help, I should say. Someone like her really have what it takes to commit murder? Can someone like her? It does make sense. Thinking Diana could kill another person, it doesn't make any logical sense.
Whatever. Who cares what this guy says? We finally know the killer. Let's cast our votes already.
I guess if that's what everyone else is doing.
Remember, if you don't vote, you die. So none of you naysayers better get any smart...
Hey, Tozu.
ideas?
Are you listening, Tozu? I need to ask a question.
Dude, what are you...
Hello, hello! It is I, Tozu, answerer of questions. You ask a question, I give an answer. 'Tis common sense it is.
Answerer of questions? I thought you were a host.
I am a host with an ascendant in question answering. A jack of all trades, if you will.
Anyway, Tozu. According to the regulations, everyone has to vote when a trial is over. My question is, when exactly can a trial be considered over?
Are we talking in a literal or philosophical sense?
I mean, does the trial end and the voting begin once we think we've solved a mystery? Or does the vote automatically start after a certain amount of time?
I see. All right, I'll humor your question. If you ask nicely.
What?
Go on. Ask the question again.
Well, are you still gonna do it?
Tozu, can I please know the factors that decide whether a trial can be considered over?
Well, since you're so polite, I'd be a fool not to tell you. The truth is, the class trial will only end once I become bored with it.
You're joking.
What? Why didn't you say this sooner?
Come now, it's not like I wouldn't announce a warning in advance. Tick-tock, tick-tock. That's the sound of my internal clock, losing patience. Let's start wrapping things up, shall we? I think we're long overdue for a vote. See? Smart, snappy, and to the point.
Sounds terrible!
What if you're still not bored, even when we think we've solved the case?
If that happened and all of you agreed to vote, what reason is there for me to say no?
So in that case, everyone must unanimously agree to vote before voting can be held.
Indeedy.
All right. Then, since you haven't made any kind of warning, I take it you're not bored with the trial yet.
Not yet.
In that case, I don't agree to vote.
What? No way! Are you seriously pushing back the vote?
Not until I know who the real killer is.
It's obviously Diana. She's the only one without an alibi for the murder.
Diana may not have an alibi, but even so.
Yeah, so let me give you some commentary because it's been a while. They've been talking for a long time. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not fully convinced that Diana killed Wolfgang either. Due to their, like you said, her past, like, comments and everything. She thinks highly of Wolfgang. My guess is he committed suicide. Or tried to kill Diana, but it ultimately failed. So essentially, because he's a student killing himself, it's technically student on student damage, essentially. So, yeah.
Saying she's a murderer contradicts everything we know about her.
And also, we haven't really figured out the pimple part yet, so.
Since when?
Diana looked up to Wolfgang, and Wolfgang cared about her. But from the moment suspicion fell on Diana, she's been nothing but a nervous wreck. Does that really sound like someone with the emotional capacity to murder?
What's to say she's not faking it?
Even if she was, it'd be rash to commence a vote without hearing both sides of the story first.
You do make a good point.
We are not in a rush. I say we hear Diana out.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Eloise.
I don't feel comfortable voting yet until Diana shares her testimony.
Sure thing. I'm up for listening.
But
Like I said, for all we know, it could be Toshiko. For all we know, it could be Toshiko. That's all I gotta say.
Diana, I promise to keep an open mind if you tell me what happened. Even if it's stressful to relive, until we have conclusive evidence to say otherwise. I'll hear you out.
Come on, Diana. Come on, spit it out.
I'm sorry. I'm really I wanted to help. I wanted to make everything okay. But all I could do was be useless. All I could do was watch him die. It's all my fault. All my fault. For doing the wrong thing.
So is this a confession, or?
No!
Huh?
I didn't kill Wolfgang. And I don't know who did. But I still failed him as a friend. I failed him then. And I failed him here. But if I told the truth, things would be worse than they already are. But now that I've said nothing...
Diana watched Wolfgang die.
It's okay, sweetheart. Come on now, take deep breaths.
Yeah, we'll believe you no matter what you say.
It's looking like Diana might actually be innocent. It's looking like that, but there's a nagging feeling in my chest. That nagging feeling in my chest still hasn't gone away. Damn it. What am I doing? Because of one girl, I've been doubting myself and jumping from one argument to another. If I can't piece together my own thoughts, how can I possibly piece together this case? I need to get a grip on myself. I need to keep sight of myself and the goal of this killer. Whatever is throwing me next, I need to persevere. Because if I don't, if everyone else's votes here were wrong, I won't leave this face alive. If everyone here votes is wrong, we won't leave this face alive. Cool. Okay.